Game jams. Many great indie titles were originally game jam entries that became so popular that the developers decided to turn them into fully commercial releases. Titles like Baba Is You, Super Hot, and even Hollow Knight were all short and quite unpolished submissions in different game jams. So I figured, why not give it a shot and join a game jam myself? Who knows, maybe it will turn into a great successful game. The game jam I chose to sign up for was the Fireside Jam, and the theme this year was Guide or Guidance. The thing that instantly popped in my head was some kind of mountain guide, and the game I come to think about was the classic Skifree that came with the computers back in the 90s. So the first thing I needed to do was to create a player and a slope for the player to move on. I made a simple spawning system with trigger colliders on every ground segment to be able to spawn ground as the player moves down the slope. Okay, that's all good, but let's deal with the most important part, the actual game mechanic. I played around quite a bit before I ended up with the simplest possible solution. Every time you press space, the player makes a turn at the opposite direction to the last turn. Also with the ability to hold the button to increase the turning speed. This actually felt kinda fun and somewhat gave the feeling of skiing where you change direction in every new move you make. To tie this into the theme, I came up with this idea where you, the player, have a mission to guide a group of skiers downhill a mountain and avoid obstacles along the way. The game loop is done, but we ain't got much of a skiing game yet. The dots must go and we have to create something with legs and arms that actually looks like a skier. Because of the limited amount of time and the fact that I am terribly slow at modeling and rigging in Blender, I cheated here and took the shortcut by using Unity's tool ProBuilder to create the player model. I just wanted a character that looks somewhat like an actual skier, and I think this does the job. And also we need some skis and some sticks, of course. Or is it sticks? Poles? Sticks? Instead of doing the rigging in Blender, I took the shortcut here as well and exported the model I have created to an FBX file. And then imported the model into Mixamo. From here, Mixamo does the job for you and spits out a rigged model. After that I created some animations for the new player rig. I made animations for the turns as well as for a crash. I think he looks kinda cool with his black goggles. I started to speed up the development from this on and created a simple UI. And also, oh shit, I almost forgot. Sounds. We got to have sounds, of course. I would say these probably are the best sounds I have ever made, AAA. I also added a particle effect for the turns to make it a bit more juicy. Another important feature to the game was the score system, which is based on how long down the slope you manage to go. I created it by saving the best score in the current game session to be able to show the player when a new personal best is achieved. And this of course ties into the next big feature, the leaderboard. I found a pretty sweet solution for this. The service is called Loot Locker and stores all the scores for you in a backend service. Really great tool if you want a quick and free solution for your leaderboards. To give the game a final touch before submitting it to itch.io, I recorded a short intro with a helicopter dropping skiers off before transition to the play scene. With all the main features added to the game, I spent some time on balancing and playtesting to see if there were any game-breaking bugs. Overall, the game seemed to work, which was lucky for me, cause by now there wasn't much time left until the game had to be submitted. I thought for a while that my initial Highscore was unbeatable, but oh boy I was wrong, that joy did not last very long. And all of these creative names. Okay, listen up, anyone who succeeds to pass me on the leaderboard, I will have to give a shoutout in the next devlog, it's a promise. My current Highscore is 317, but I will give it some more runs before I'm satisfied. So if you want to give it a try, I have a link to the game down below. To answer the question, is it possible to make a hit game during a 1-week game jam? Of course it is, but it's highly unlikely for anyone to do it in their first or second try. It will probably take a lot of attempts and a lot of bad games along the way. Like this time for me, my game finally ended up ranking 31 and there were a lot of submissions better and more polished than mine for sure. So keep trying by making small games and joining game jams, it's fun and you get a lot of great feedback as well. And if you think I should expand and add more content to this game, leave a comment down below with your ideas or feedback. I really do appreciate it and steal some of them for future devlogs. Do the things, like, subscribe, see you in the next one.